Let's talk about why it's silly to hate someone. For one, when you begin this journey of creating your own reality, one of the first things that you realize when you dive beyond a surface level law of attraction understanding is that we're all connected. We're all one. All of our awareness is streaming from one consciousness. That consciousness is Source, or the I am presence. And when I say the I am presence, what I mean is that the I am of you is that source. The I am of you was present before you were given a name, before you developed a personality. The I am of you is God. So why is it foolish to hate someone? It's foolish to hate someone because if you can understand that we're all one and that the I am of you is God, you got to move beyond yourself and realize that everyone around you, the I am of them is God too. Now, you see people walking around in certain mental states and you see some of the corruption that happens, and it very much gives you the illusion that all of what's taking place is separate from God. And I hope the sound is good. I'm gonna upload regardless, but who needs to hear the message will hear the message. So where was I? Why is it foolish to hate? You realize that we're all one. The I am of you is God. And now you take it outside of yourself and you realize that the I am of everyone else is God too, no matter what they do. So there's reasons behind why people act the way that they act, and we can get into that. This video isn't necessarily about that, though. I guess if we're talking about why you shouldn't hate someone, it may be a good idea to know why it is that they do the things that they do. All right, really quick. The Cliff Notes version of it is, you know how stories talk about archetypes? You know, you have like the hero, the fool, warrior, damsel, whatever. I don't know all of the archetypes. Spellcaster or magician, whatever. Witch. I'm sure those may be archetypes, maybe not. I don't know. You get where I'm going with this, all right? We talk about these archetypes, and there's usually characteristics that we'll attribute to an archetype. And based on that archetype, there's usually certain things that you can expect a character to experience because of the archetype that they occupy, right? It's the same way with us. There is an infinite number of mental states. And when I say mental states, I'm not saying, oh, someone is crazy. We're all occupying mental states, a state of mind. And the state of mind that we occupy outpictures itself in the form of events, in the form of people, places, situations that arise in our lives. Now, here's the thing. Everything around you is pretty much designed to keep you thinking that the state you occupy is you, and that you have to stay in that state. And if you move from that state, that you've done something wrong, you violated some sort of societal rule, right? And depending on how far you've strayed, you may be outcast from your community. You may lose a job. You may lose relationship. Some cases, you lose your life for changing your state of mind, for acting differently than other people believe you should act. Now, as we're all traversing these states, the world may be trying to beat you down into thinking that the state is you. And there is no separation between you and the state, or that you can't change your state at any given time, any point in time. And that's not true. For one, the state is not you. While you may be occupying that state, you may have wittingly or unwittingly fallen into that state. There could have been something around you that triggers you to end up in that state. We're not going to judge why you're in the state. We're just going to say, all right, you were in a state. And now you come out of it. Cool. The new state that you occupy has to outpicture itself. Now, what happens if you transfer states before the outside world outpictures itself? People tell you that you're delusional. If you're acting like a freaking a celebrity, but you're not even on social media, people are gonna tell you, or you're not even you're not working, whatever the case may be. People are gonna tell you, hey, you're a little delusional. There's certain things, certain actions that follow a state like that, and you haven't performed those actions. Therefore, we deem you delusional. That's what society's gonna tell you, right? So that states. Hold on. Got a spike in my shoe here. That states in a nutshell. So when you realize that we're all occupying states, and that when you realize that the cause of someone being in a state which is in effect is unknown to you. You don't know all of the circumstances that led up to them arriving in that state. They just appear to you in a certain state. Now, you do something that, whether you know it or not, whatever the case may be, maybe you offend them, whatever. Relationships fall out, it happens. And because of their state, they choose hate. And they do things to you to try to get you to return in like kind. Why? Listen, it's important for you not to hate, because you have to understand, if someone is in the mental state of hate and they project that energy to you, and you accept it, you resonate at that frequency, you occupy that state with them, now your life is creating more scenarios like that. Now instead of one enemy, you got 3. Now instead of just this challenge, you've got all these things going on. And you don't understand where it's coming from. But it's a production, it's the fruit of your state. See, you have to realize this world is a dual mirror. Yeah, you're looking at it and you're seeing other individuated aspects of God. But when you're looking outside of you, what you're seeing is a reflection of your internal state of being. So even if there's a version of you, the I am presence, not the personality that you are, that has or occupies a state of hate, that does not necessarily mean that you have to. If it shows up in your reality, then you have to recognize that it's within you somewhere. It wouldn't show up in your reality if it wasn't within you somewhere. Now, after recognizing that it's within you somewhere, after checking yourself, you can choose what to do about the situation. If it's a situation where you're in some type of abuse or something like that, then you defend yourself. You take care of yourself. If you can remove yourself from the situation, then you go ahead and you do that. But returning hate is like drinking acid. It's not going to do anything good for you. It's not. And at the same time, don't do things to cause people to hate you. Don't do things to put somebody in that type of destructive state. Understand, while we may have changed the terminologies for these things, any form of thought-based attack that relies on manipulation, intimidation, and domination is witchcraft. I'll say it again. Any thought-based attack, and when I say thought-based, originating in thoughts, but it can be words, it can be a item that you've thought about and you think would cause somebody to have some type of negative emotion about, so you give it to them to try to draw out a negative emotion, or those things are spells. That's what that is. That's a spell. Or if you're just putting somebody down with your words, knowing that it makes them think badly about themselves, that's a spell. At that point, you're putting a spell on somebody. That's witchcraft. And you don't want to mess with that. And I'll tell you why. Anytime that you try to place someone or push someone into a destructive, negative mental state, the odds are twice as likely that you fall into that state yourself. I swear to you it is. And I'm telling you this for your own good. If you didn't know that that is witchcraft, that's what it is. So we all go around putting spells on each other by beating each other down with our words. We'll do different underhanded, indirect attacks towards each other, not knowing that we're all intuitive. We're all psychic. That's a part of who we are because we're all one. So you beat somebody down with your words, deeds, actions. Try to subjugate them into a state that you know is destructive, and then wonder why you fall into that state yourself. This is why. Because it's witchcraft. And because we're one. Now, I've dealt with a lot of witchcraft, and I know that there's people who will intentionally do things just because they see a spark of divinity in you, and they don't recognize that that same spark is inside of themselves. So when they see you confident, when they see that you have ambition, when they see that you're on a track to do something with your life, with yourself, they don't think about all the things that they had going for them before the moment that they met you, about the aspirations that they had before your energy happened to cross theirs. It's like suddenly their focus becomes, why do you have that? Because you're a soul just like they are. And every soul has its purpose for being here. And your purpose isn't to be envious of someone else. Envy is just a form of admiration. Go talk to these people. Figure out what it is that you admire. If you're that person who's envious about people, you're that hating person, go talk to somebody that you hate, that you envy. We know that you secretly admire them. Go talk to them. Don't make assumptions about people. Go talk. Have a conversation. I bet you'd be surprised what you learn about somebody. And if you're the person who's been on the side of receiving that shit, understand, you don't gotta return it. You don't have to return it. Returning it will mess up your life. It'll mess up your life. Mess up all that you got going on for yourself. For no reason. It ain't worth it. It's easier for you to remove yourself than it is. By remove yourself, I mean remove yourself from any circumstances that put you in a position where these people can continue to hurt you. Remove yourself. Put yourself in better company. Start using the power of your thoughts, not to hate, not to envy, not to return what somebody else in their destructive mental state sent to you. Use it to dissipate all attacks. Now use it to create, because you understand that the one source that created all life exists within you. And to be one with God is a majority. So it doesn't matter what thought forms have come from somebody else. It doesn't matter what attack somebody has prepared for you. The source of all creation exists within you. The source of all creation has given all power to you. So you go within and you start to create a new scenario. If it's your personal circle that is trying to hurt you, then you see yourself in a different circle. You see yourself in a supportive circle. You see yourself in a circle full of people who uplift you. People who tell you that you are worthy of more. People who help you. People who you know that you can lean on. Those types of people do exist. Some people call them a soul family. Those type of people do exist. And you can call them. You can call them just by being open and accepting when they arrive. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You don't gotta hate. You can create. Do not gotta hate. Go into the silence and create. I love you. I want to see the fullest expression of you. I did not expect to make this video this long on this walk, but it is what it is. I hope that this video helps you to understand why returning hate just ain't worth it, and how thinking badly about people, resonating on it, and doing objects with your hate, and doing certain actions with your hate, all of that is witchcraft, and that's not going to help you either. That's going to make you fall into the state that you're trying to push someone else into. I've seen it happen to a lot of people. I don't want to see it happen to you. Let this be the spark to ignite the fire in you, to show you that there is another way. There is another option for you. You don't have to hate. You can create.